Hey there. Subscribe to my channel. And also press this bell icon, so you never miss any new updates, cause whenever we upload new video you will get a notification on your phone.
Hi, today in my bench I have this vintage Sanyo radio cassette player. It is 70s and the 80s model. I don't know exactly which year this model came out in, but yeah, I guess it is the end of the 70s. Now this unit, it is not a boombox, it is a normal tape recorder. It is only a mono, as you can see from the one speaker, the two-way speaker assembly. This is the tweeter, of course, and this is the main woofer. And this unit, it has a lot of abuse in it. As you can see, there is a lot of dirt and dust in it. And the owner of this unit, he uses it in his shop. So yeah. So today in this video we are going to take this unit apart and see what's wrong with it and how we are going to fix it. Now, taking a look at the tape assembly, and by the way, he is not using the tape anymore, he is using it for the radio, and because this unit has a great reception, he use it and he like to listen to it in his shop as he is doing his job. So yeah. Now, taking a look at the radio, it has two bands, an FM and an AM, and of course there is the main function selector switch, a tone control and a volume control, and of course the tuning knob, as you can see. Now, the main complaint and why it is on my bench, because the needle control thread has been cut, and this is why the owner he bring it. So I talked to him and I said it is a shame that this unit it is stayed in this condition, and we agreed that I did a full repair and restoration in this unit. Now, examining the tape unit, and if we push the eject button, as you can see, the tape door it is closed and open in a really good way. The reset button in the tape counter it is missing and it is broken, as you can see. I don't know if it is existed the part, or the broken part it is existed inside of the unit or not, I don't know. And beside this, it is in a really reasonable and tough condition. I mean, the cabinet in it is in really good condition. Now, if we flip the unit to the other side or to its back, we can see that the telescopic antenna it is no longer available, and he used this wire or wall wire in order he can replace and attach it instead of the broken antenna. Now, taking a look at the information or the engraved information in here, we can see the model number. It is the M 2438F. It uses a power source of multi-select. It has a multi-selector voltage switch, and it's consumed in 8 watt, and it uses a 9-volt batteries. So yeah, this is when made in Japan mean everything, and of course it is all about the quality. I mean, the quality of these things it is amazing, and after 40 years of making these and still have the original capacitors and it still work like a charm. So yeah. Taking a look in here, we can see that there is a mic input and a remote, and of course there is an AWACS and an earphone jack. So yeah. So without a further ado, let's open this unit and see what kind of work needed to be done in order so we can get this unit back into a full working condition. So here is the back cover of the unit has been removed, and in order so you can open this kind of units, you have to remove one screw from here. I don't know if you can see it. One screw from here and the other one in this side over here and one in the middle, and you have to remove the back cover in order so you can remove this screw in here and this screw from this side, and you can pry open the back cover. So let me just try to remove the back cover with just one hand. And by the way, this, yeah, here you go. Here's the back cover has been removed. And by the way, the screws, they are the original screws, they are no longer available, so there is only one screw that's original. It is installed in its place. So yeah, it's a shame how people do these kind of jobs, or these kind of or use this kind of screws in this beautiful unit. So yeah, but that is his problem. As you can see, the woofer, it is in a really good condition, and the inside of the unit and the PC board, it is really clean, as you can see. Now here is the tuning thread that he was talking about. The mechanic, it is plastic, but these kind of mechanics, they are notorious that has a very long life because they are made to last, as you can see. Yeah. Now taking a look at the power supply, we can see that someone was in here and someone repair a broken trace in the PC board, as you can see. And here is the main power transformer. And by the way, this unit has a really interesting type of power voltage, main power voltage selector, because, and what do I mean by that? In order so you can select the type of voltage in your area, you have to remove the screw, and the selector itself, it is plugged in, so it is not move it by a slot in the switch itself like a screw. So yeah, that is a really interesting design that Sanyo used, and I really love that. Now let me pause this video and remove and disconnect the power supply from the rest of the unit, and take a look at the or a closer look at the assembly itself and see what kind of work needed to be done. So here is the power supply wires has been disconnected from the main circuit board, and in order so you can remove and disconnect these wires, 3 wires, you have to pull these jacks out from their studs. And by the way, Sanyo uses these kind of jacks, and these kind of jacks are really good, and they make a very good contact. Now these jacks go to 3 studs because they are 3 wires, and the studs is this one and this one and this one. It is near to this jack assembly. Now I will have to disconnect the jacks that supply and connect the woofer and the tweeter to the main amplifier circuit, and I will have to remove the screws that hold the entire assembly to the enclosure or the front enclosure. So I'm going to do this and we will see what happens. So here is the entire radio tape assembly has been taken out of the front enclosure or from the cabinet, and while I'm removing it, the cover of the VU meter just fell out. My guess is that the adhesive tape or the masking tape, it is worn off over time. So yeah, as I said, it is in a really good condition. The reset button for the counter, it is broken, as you can see, and the missing piece, it is not available and it is not existed in the cabinet, and I had to cut the tuning thread in order so I can remove the entire assembly successfully. And I removed the wires that supply the woofer and the tweeter. And also I disconnect this wire that it is act like a ground, and also they can eliminate any kind of abnormal spikes when this unit it is operating, and especially when it is recording. So yeah, as we can see in here, there is a damage in the woofer, and if I push it with my finger, it looks solid. I don't know if the woofer has been repaired or not, but I will have to take a look at that issue. Now moving along, and let me just show you how beautiful quality this thing have and the beautiful assembly that this thing have. So yeah, they use these kind of pulleys, and as you can see, these are really good. Other Sanyos use a stud or a plastic stud, and they wrap the wire the tuning thread around it. This has a better durability and better control. So yeah, the motor in it has been replaced. This is not the original kind of motor. The original kind of motor uses a platinum governor inside of it, and this is an aftermarket. And by the way, this thing, it is a Singapore Mitsushita or Mitsumi kind of motor. I'm sorry, it is the Mitsumi kind of motor, and these kind of motor, they are really good. Now taking a look at the audio head, you can see that the grooves, it is already existed, so the audio head needed to be cleaned. The pinch wheel, it is in really good condition, and there isn't any kind of cracking or a problem in it. So I believe the pinch wheel, it is going to stay. Now yeah, this thing needed a belt, and I believe it is, and some cleaning, and I believe this unit should be back in full working condition in no time. So let me continue examining and disassembling the woofer and the tweeter assembly, and I will clean the cabinet much I could, and then we will see what we will go from there. So here is the radio tape assembly has been completely disassembled and cleaned, and I have to say this was a really hard and a long process to clean this assembly out, because the dirt and dust was wedged between the pieces of this assembly, and that is really hard to remove. But as you can see, I remove it, and I remove it about 85% of it. So yeah, now a closer look at the mechanic, you can see the button assembly has been completely cleaned, and I grease up all of the necessary part of this assembly. And if we did the test, you can see that the buttons are easily push and engage and also disengage in a really nice manner. So yeah, I believe we have a completely successful cleaning has been done to this mechanic. And here is the function switch. Control arm has been also removed and lubricated, and you can see it is easily moved. So yeah. Now if we flip the unit or the complete radio cassette unit assembly to its face, we can see that I also repaste the view meter front glass to its place, plastic glass to its face, to its place. Sorry about that. And I repainted the needle because the paint on the needle was completely went off, and I also repainted this section over here. And one thing I have to mention while I was trying to clean the counter, that the paint, the number paint was completely deteriorated. So while I was brushing it was completely deteriorated and the number was completely erased. So I stopped the cleaning process of the counter and I left it as it is. So yeah, and as you can see, all in all, it's really clean now and it is ready to be reassembled. Now one thing caught my attention while I was cleaning out this side over here, or this shaft over here. So this is what I was talking about earlier when I was describing that this assembly or this tuning thread assembly that uses these pulleys in order so the tuning thread can be wrapped or around them. This is not the case in this section over here. So in this section they use this plastic piece in order so the wire or the thread can be wrapped all around it and goes to here, to this pulley, and come back to this pulley and here. So over time this is a clear indication about what it is happening, and if this camera will just focus, you can see the friction, how it cut through the friction of the thread, how it cuts through the plastic, and this friction what led to the thread to be cut off. So yeah, next thing I'm going to do after I clean this entire assembly out is try to fix this much I could, and I believe I will have to. I have a couple of ideas about how to fix this, but yeah, this is really nasty. If this camera will just focus, you can see that it is really crappy, so a nasty cut to the plastic. So yeah, here we go. Wow, the cut, it is really has the sharp edges, and if I put a new tuning thread instead of the old one, it will also break. So yeah, I will have to find out and apply one solution for my head in order so I can jump to this obstacle once for all. This is one of the failures on the Sanyo, that they use this type of assembly to the tuning thread. So yeah, So let me pause this video and try to implement one of these thoughts in my head, and we will see how the suitable one to be implemented, and then we will continue this video. So here is the tuning thread has been threaded into its position, and I secure the two ends of the tuning thread into the variable capacitor pulley, and I use this configuration in order so I can secure it in a really good way to the variable capacitor pulley. Now this way that I use to attach it and secure the two ends of the variable of the tuning thread, it is different from the original way that the factory use, but this way I find it more convenient and more suitable to be installed. So I did it. Now I will explain how the original threading it is occurred from the factory, or it came from the factory, and they attach and how they attach it to the tuning pulley. Now from the factory, this end of the tuning thread, it is wrapped from this side and it is connected to this pinpoint, or to this point in here, and this end of the tuning thread, it is wrapped from this side and it is also connected to this point in here, and they tie it together and they attach to the spring, to the tension spring. But my method, it is a little bit different, because I connected this end in here. This side of the tuning thread, it is came from here and it is connected to this nut in here, and I secured to this hole into the tuning pulley. And of course the other one that it came from here, I wrapped it once and two times around the tuning pulley and to the spring. Now this method, it is a lot more easier to control, and when you are going to do this type of replacing the tuning thread. And I done it many times. And as you can see, if I try the tuning shaft, it controls in a really good way. So yeah. Now I will show you the amount of modification that I did in order so I can repair the slot that it has been made by the original tuning thread to the plastic. And I made this assembly, or this assembly of aluminium that it is wrapped around the original plastic shaft or stud that the factory use it to attach or to wrap the tuning thread around it. And also I use this rivet as sort of another shaft in order that tuning thread can be wrapped around it. So as you can see, it glides, the tuning thread, it glides all over it without any kind of problems. So aluminum, it is a better resistance than plastic in terms of this assembly, and I expect this kind of assembly will last many years into the future. Now originally this thing, as I said earlier in the beginning of the video, this is a mid-70s designed, and it lasted almost 30 years until the original thread it is cut. Now with this, I believe it will last many years ahead. So yeah. Now after I finish threading the tuning thread, I will remove the board, and I will address the issue of the belts and the tape recorder, and we will assemble it, and then I will assemble the entire thing and we will try it on and we will see how it is going to perform. So I replaced the two belts of the mechanic with the brand new ones, and as you can see, one of them was completely cut in half, and that is because of the old age. So yeah, and I went through my stack of collection of audio heads, and I choose a direct replacement of the old audio head, as in terms of height and also the base of the uh, audio head. And this one, it is a brand new audio head. So yeah, and when I remove the old audio head from its place, and I discovered that, as you saw earlier from the early footages of this video, that it has a lot of dirt on it, so I remove that dirt and crud that it was existed on it, and after examining it, it reveals that the audio head, it is in a really good shape. It is not bad as I thought earlier. So I believe this audio head, the original one, has a lot of time still in it, and it can be used for many years. So yeah, I decided to postpone replacing the audio head with a brand new one, and I decided to reinstall the old audio head back into the unit. But first, I will have to confirm that this audio head doesn't have a moisture issue with it, and it can still perform uh, in a really good way. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to remove the speaker from its place and connected it, and we will see how this audio head will play, and we will test the rest of the unit. So here is the tweeter, and the woofer has been removed from their place in the cabinet, and I tested the voice coil in both of these using my FAT-View M, and after I did the test, I can surely say that the resistance in both of these are like they should be, and in theory they are both working like they should be. Now, taking a look at the woofer comb, you can see that someone fixed the tear that it was existed in the comb using this type of adhesive. Now, this is a really nice work has been done to this woofer, and as you can see, if I can push the woofer comb with my finger, there is no scratching, and this is a good indication that the woofer, it is working like it should be. Now, I already connected the woofer leads to the tape cassette assembly, and I already plugged in the power so I can test this. And first, I'm going to test the radio and see how it is going to work. So let me just confirm that I already plugged in. I do go, and it is ready. So let's see. There's AM, there's FM. Now remember, there is no antenna, it is connected. Now I'm using my finger as an antenna. So yeah. Let me pause this and hook a wire as an antenna to this. So I hook up my one lead of my FAT-View M, and I use the alligator clip in order so I can attach it to the probe of the antenna, or the prom of the antenna. And as you can see, the radio are working like it should be. So yeah, this is the FM. Now let's try the AM. So as you can see, also the AM are working like it should be. So yeah. Now after we confirm that the radios are, the two bands of the radios are working like they should be, let's try to put a tape in it and calibrate it, and I will do the calibration using this Lionel Richie of camera. And after I did this, I will continue this video and show you what kind of result I got. So here is the tape has been put in, and I did calibrate the tape speed, and that is mandatory whenever you change the belts in any type of tape recorder. And actually I adjusted the azimuth of this audio head in order so I can get the right frequency out of this audio head, and actually it plays in a really good way. So yeah, and if we push it forward, and here is rewind. So yeah, and here is the pause. So the mechanic, it is working like it should be, and I'm really happy about the results. So all what I have to do now is clean the front housing or the front cabinet, and reassemble the tweeter and the woofer back into their places, and remount this into and secure it with its holding screws, and then we will test it further. So here's the unit has been completely reassembled, and I remounted and reinstalled the radio cassette assembly back into the cabinet. As for the cabinet, after a lot of scrubbing and brushing and soaking with water, here is the final result that I achieved. And if you compare it with the old status of the that it was before, the cabinet, it is now about 85%, it is now cleaner than it was before. Now taking a look at the topper or the upper part of the cabinet, you can see all of the writing are now showing like they should be, and it looks very clean and decent. As for the knobs, the same kind of process that I did with the cabinet, I did it with the knobs, and the knobs, they look very decent. So yeah, now I already plugged in the unit, and now let's turn it on and see how it is going to perform. So first let me select the FM and boost up the volume. Now I already connected my probe, or the FET VOM probe, as a replacement of the antenna, so it is not going to receive very well, but as you can see, it is receiving like and working the radio in FM band. It is working like it should be. So yeah, the FM, it is working like it should be. Here's the AM. Now the AM at this time of the day, and it is now up to 1 p.m. It is not going to be much more station. It is going to, this radio it's going to receive. So yeah, as you can see, here's one of the stations that it is left broadcasting in the AM band. Now at the night we receive many stations, and that is because of the weather, and that help the receivers to receive the long distance radio waves. So yeah, so the FM it is working, the AM it's working. Now let's test the tape. Let's switch to the tape, open the door, put a cassette in it, close the door.
There would be no more living in desperation, and no more hatred and defeat.
Here's the rewind. Here's the forward. And the cassette, it is also working like it should be. So all what it is left now is cleaning up the back cover like I did with the front cabinet part, and reinstalled a new telescopic antenna as a replacement of this power cable that it was wrapped like a spring shape, and I'm done. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you did, please like, subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you next time.